Beginning with Brownie, a little backstory on this gorgeous Molly mule. She has been around people throughout her life. However, she has been out to pasture for her entire life. She has not been halter broke. She has had very little handling. And the same with her sister Blondie. They've just been out to pasture. And so both of them have come to Wild Child so that we can get them halter broke, get them a solid groundwork foundation, get them ready to be pack mules, and potentially even start them under saddle for riding as well. I'm going to start by just trying to see how Brownie responds to pressure, how she responds to me, stuff like that. You can see I go to approach her. She goes to spin around a little bit. And what I do is I end up walking in front of her. Horses and mules, they have what's called a drive line. So imagine a line from the withers to the shoulder. In front of that line is the brake pedal. You can see I'm stepping in front of her to try and get her to stop. And behind that line is the gas pedal. So if I were to ask her to go, I'd apply pressure from behind. So what I'm going to start on here with Brownie is I'm going to work on approach and retreat. I'm going to start slowly approaching her, and if she goes to look at me or if it seems like she's about to bolt, then I am going to retreat and walk away. So you can see right here that she actually lets me walk up and pet her shoulder a little bit, and so I just end up retreating. I walk away as a way to kind of just give her a little bit of a reward and show her that she did a good job. Blondie was messing with the camera through the fence, so I had to take a moment to set it back up. And so then I'm just going to come right back and continue to work with Brownie and see if I can get closer to her, get some more touches out of her. You can see again that as I'm going to start approaching her, she's standing there. She's kind of moving that one leg. Her head's a little bit high, so she's kind of indicating through her body language that she's a little bit nervous. She's not like so terrified that she's trying to blow through fences or anything, but she's definitely nervous. Right here, she goes to look at me, so I take a step away and I go to release that pressure. I'm going to slowly start trying to approach her again. You can see that she's backing up a few steps. Her tail is swishing. Again, these are all signs that she is unsure, but she's not like panicking. Again, she goes to let me pet her on her shoulder, so I'm going to back away and release that pressure. Ultimately, I want to take this time to show Brownie that I am not a threat, that I'm just trying to get up to her, give her some love. You can see this time when I approach her, I bring the halter and I start to pet her with the halter. This is already phenomenal progress for day one. I'm super proud of Brownie for all of this because I wasn't really expecting her to have this good of a reaction. Again, both the mules that you'll see within this series have been around people for a good course of their lives. They just haven't really been handled. They've just been out to pasture. They've come up for feeding and treats and all that fun stuff. You'll see here that Brownie goes to back away, so I go to release pressure. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep doing this exact same thing. I'm going to approach her with a halter, pet her with a halter, and then I'm going to release. And I'm just going to try and get closer and closer to her every time, touch her a lot more with the halter every time, and just make a little bit of progress every single time that I go to approach her. For timing purposes, I did speed things up a little bit. You can see that I'm starting to get that halter around her back, and then she did start to walk off. Right about here, you'll see that I'm able to get that halter over her withers a little bit. I get that halter over her withers, I pet her a little bit, she goes to walk off, and so I retreat. You might notice that that halter is actually still on her back. I give her a few seconds to really think about what's going on. I go up to touch her again, and then I start to try and slowly work that halter up her neck. Again, she goes to walk off. I follow her, try and step in front of that drive line, and then I'm just going to repeat the process. The goal is to just continue slowly introducing the halter. I don't want Brownie to feel like she has to walk off or try to escape all the time, so you'll see that I actually took a few steps back and just went back to petting her with my hand. Here I am again. I'm starting to bring that halter back up to her again. I touch her with it and I back up a few steps. And so then I'm going to start to approach her again, rub her with that halter, and this time I'm going to try and get it over her neck again. You can kind of see that she's, again, her head is high. She's unsure about it, but she's not like freaking out or panicking about it. So that's definitely a good thing. That's definitely something I'm looking for. I go to get it around her neck. She goes to back up. I try to cut her off. And again, this is just kind of like a game of body language here. Once she takes a moment to start standing, I'm going to pet her on her withers again, around her shoulder, on her neck, and just slowly try to grab that halter and work my way towards her a little bit more. The goal is to be able to maybe even get the halter on in the first session. And overall, she is doing extremely well. Like, she's not freaking out. She's not trying to jump a fence. She's not blowing up or anything. She's just moving back and forth, swishing her tail. She's got her ears back. She's trying to communicate that she's a little bit nervous, but overall, she's not like panicking or freaking the fuck out. So I'm very proud of that. Right here, I'm able to grab that halter from under her neck, and I'm going to see if I can try and slide it over her nose. You can see that kind of, I'm starting to like pet her and go slowly, and you can see that she starts to back up a little bit. So I'm going to pet her and just, or pet her chin and just slowly try and work that halter on her. You can see that she's still backing up a little bit. Every time I go to try and put it on her nose, she backs up, and right here she goes to take off again, which is okay. So we're just going to go back to square one. I'm going to go back to doing approach and retreat, petting her, stepping away, petting her with a halter, retreating, trying to get it over her neck, and just slowly working my way till I can get that halter all the way on her. After doing the exact same thing, she did eventually go to walk off again, but I was able to get a little bit further and actually start getting that halter over her nose, which is something that I was looking for. So you can see right here, this is the moment of truth when I'm actually able to get that halter on her. I go to put it over her neck. She's kind of starting to realize that this really isn't a scary process. Like, it's really not the end of the world. I'm going to pet her face with my hand a little bit to see if that'll kind of help her let me get that halter over her nose and get her used to the feeling of something just touching her nose in general. I'm able to slowly slide it around her nose. She goes to back up those few steps, and so I pause for a moment, back up to try and cut her off, and then I'm able to very slowly adjust that halter, tie it up, and now we officially have a halter on Miss Brownie. So I am super duper proud of her that this is how the first session went. I get that halter on, I tie it up, and then I'm going to just do the ultimate release. I'm going to back up, give her some pets, and then I'm just going to leave the halter on her because she is in an enclosed area. There's nothing that she can really get it caught on, and I also have it pretty loose. It's also an old rope halter, so if something were to happen, it would break. So I'm going to leave it on her to make it a little easier to catch her tomorrow, and we're just going to call this day a win. Moving on to Blondie. Blondie has pretty much the same story as Brownie. She has been out to pasture most of her life. She has had human interaction, and different than Brownie, Blondie has actually had a halter on, and she has been started on the basics of leading. She is also here at Wild Child to continue furthering her groundwork foundations, get her ready to be a pack mule, as well as potentially start her under saddle as a riding mule. We start Blondie's session when she already has a halter on, because it actually took me like 2 or 3 minutes to get it on her. And with her having experience with a halter already, I figured for time purposes, for the sake of this video series, that we could just start off with a halter. So you'll see here, I go to stop, she stops, I go to back up. She backs up one step, but she doesn't want to back up that second step. So I just tap on her chest a little bit to get her to back up a second step. I definitely want to work on boundaries with both of these guys. Right here, I'm kind of just testing her to see what she knows. I go to try and lift up her front hoof, and she lifts it up just fine. I was actually quite shocked that she lifted up, because I was told that they had no handling with their feet whatsoever. So I go to lead her. You can see that she's giving to pressure fairly well. I'm going to go on to her other front to see how she responds to that. Because I don't know either one of these mules very well, and this is my first session with both of them, I'm not going to attempt to do anything with Blondie's hind feet right now. She's already doing super well, and I'm kind of just taking this as a moment to evaluate her, see what all she knows already, doesn't know, etc. Just kind of like seeing everything that she's been taught, so I can give myself a good starting point on where I can start working with her and getting some progress made with her. You can see right here that I have the lunge whip, and I'm going to try and do some desensitizing with her. I go to put it over her back and take it off, and over her back and take it off, and you can see that she kind of like pins her ears to look at it. You can see that she's swishing her tail. These are all signs that she's not too sure about it, but she's not like overly explosive or freaking out about it. She's having like the same behavioral things that Brownie was. She's showing that she's concerned. She's not exactly the biggest fan of it, but she's not against it. You can see even right here, I was able to put it on her hind legs, and she didn't try and kick out or strike, which is a very good thing. One big thing I was told with Blondie is that she is head shy. She does not like having her ears rubbed, and so you can see right here that I start to slide my hand up towards her ears, and she goes to pull her head away. So this is something that I'm definitely going to be working on a lot with Blondie, because we want her to be able to let us put a bridle on, to be able to rub her ears and just give her lots of love. So I'm just very slowly, I take my hand up her forehead, barely touch her ear, and then I take it away. Right here, I'm starting to rub the base of her ear, and ultimately, I just want to show her that it's okay if I touch her ear, that ear scratches are nice and comfortable, they're fun, they're enjoyable. This is something that we also might incorporate some positive reinforcement into as well, to continue trying to get her to be a little bit less head shy. As I go to move on to her other ear, she's kind of doing the exact same thing. I go to slowly try and touch the base, and she just pulls her head away. She's not pulling it away too violently. She's definitely showing me that she doesn't like it by trying to get away from it. But overall, this is something that I feel like, at least with her, we could do fairly easily and work with. You'll see that I'm going to grab the lunge whip, and I'm going to start trying to rub her ears with the lunge whip, because she is a little bit tall, and when she goes to pull her head away, it's a little bit hard. So you'll see here that, again, even with the lunge whip, she's kind of throwing her head. Now now she's actually starting to try and walk away a little bit. So I'm going to spend a few more minutes on just trying to work with her ears, and then from there I'm just going to call it a day. Right here she's standing while I rub the base of her ears. So this is something that we're going to work on a lot over time. I'm going to just slowly like work up my neck, or work up her neck, her forehead, and all of that stuff, just to try and get her a lot more comfortable with it. Although it was a rather quick session with Blondie, I definitely got a good idea of where I need to start with her. I am going to leave the halter on her just because even though she was easy to catch today, I'm not sure if she's going to be easy to catch tomorrow. And if she is, then I'll just take the halter off and we can carry on from there. But overall, they both did very well today.